of one of its most likable and talented young men, Loyola Marymount's Hank Gathers. Gathers collapsed during last night's West Coast Conference tournament game against Portland. He was pronounced dead an hour and a half later at Daniel Freeman Hospital. Preliminary indications are that Gathers died of heart failure, but the official cause of death will not be known until completion of the autopsy. Early results could be released as early as tonight. The West Coast Conference canceled the remainder of its conference tournament and awarded the automatic bid to Loyola based on the Lions' 13-1 regular season conference record. Coach Paul Westhead says the team will decide later whether or not to accept the bid and participate in the NCAA tournament. Gathers led the nation in scoring and rebounding a year ago and was among the nation's leaders again this year. But Gathers' greatest talent may have been with people. Some of those he touched will play in tonight's second game on ESPN as LaSalle meets Fordham in the Metro Atlantic Final. Lionel Simmons and Gathers were childhood companions. Doug Overton and Gathers' teammates at Philadelphia's Dobbins Tech. Mike Gorman and Bill Raftery will call the Metro Atlantic Final. They join us from Albany.
Thank you very much, John, and we will have a basketball.
And its new world of telecommunications.
And excitement has been taken out of this game because, as John mentioned, LaSalle, a team truly touched by this tragedy. Doug Overton of LaSalle was a high school teammate of Hank Gathers and Bo Kimball. Bob Johnson and Lionel Simmons were high school opponents. When the news of the Gathers tragedy reached the Knickerbocker Arena last night, Lionel Simmons openly wept, and Doug Overton struggled with composure today. But both will play tonight.
They came up with the decision that Hank's looking down, and he's looking down at all his friends, and he would want Loyola Marymount to finish, and he would certainly would want them at LaSalle to finish, and because of that, they want to go out and play.
At Hart Chapel, as the thoughts of the basketball world are with the family, the teammates, and the friends of the departed Hank Gathers. Gathers died last night of an apparent heart attack. Chris Myers was on hand last night and today in Los Angeles.
Basketball was good to Hank Gathers. Life was unfair. The day after his tragic death, the court was empty, the campus saddened, the flag at half-mast. Loyola's alumni gym looked more like a chapel.
This is a great tragedy. There's no explanation for it that I know of. Our whole campus is grieving.
Gathers' teammates, after witnessing his last basket and collapse Sunday night, struggled with the reality of losing their leader.
Before the game in the locker room, Hank said, "I feel as strong as ever." And we just don't understand how a man that strong could leave us so quickly.
I'm almost 100% certain that if he had 10 more seconds, this is the way that he would want to leave us on the basketball court.
He was our guy as a player and as a person. He was the leader of our team. He was the fiber of what we are.
Unmarried and just 3 weeks into his 23rd birthday, Gathers was just getting back to top form on the floor after a December fainting spell, which was related to an irregular heartbeat. After missing 2 games, cardiologist Vernon Hattori put Gathers on medication and cleared him to play. Dr. Hattori met with Gathers' family Monday, but was unavailable for comment. Many medical questions remain. Lions head coach Paul Westhead said he saw no danger in Gathers continuing to play. And Loyola will continue to play when the NCAA tournament starts because they say Gathers would have wanted it that way. His love for the game was great, and so was his love for children.
Hank represents the little kid in all of us, because to Hank Gathers, basketball was play, and we all want to play.
Tuesday, a memorial mass for Gathers will be held here on the Loyola campus, a campus filled with people that a year ago influenced his decision to stay in school and earn a degree rather than turn pro. Gathers will be missed by all. He'll be remembered for his greatness, his enthusiasm, and his zest for life.
I know he's listening. I just love him so much. And I'm gonna miss you, Hank.
Will probably stay unanswered until the Los Angeles coroner releases his official findings in a week to 10 days. For openers, we go back to December 9th of last year when Gathers fainted at the free throw line. The Loyola Marymount star was diagnosed to have an irregular heartbeat. Gathers was placed on medication, and after missing 2 games while undergoing a battery of tests, he was allowed to resume playing. And play he did, displaying the form that made him the nation's #1 scorer and rebounder as a junior last year, until he collapsed yesterday and died in a nearby hospital. Gathers' teammates said he was still taking his medication, but had convinced doctors to have it reduced because he felt sluggish. Tonight, the Loyola Marymount team is stunned, but said it will play because Gathers would want it that way in the NCAA tournament.
We're just going to have to stick together, and I don't really care if we play another game this year. I know he's listening. I just love him so much. And I'm going to miss you, Hank.
Gathers' death hits home here in Cleveland as a reminder of what happened to Paul Stewart of CSU, who collapsed during a pickup game a few years ago in Woodling Gym and died of heart failure. It's always tragic, especially when it happens to those so young.
I passed out on December 9th. I did see my basketball career just go right past me. You know, in that split second, it could have been all over for me. But fortunately, I don't think that, you know, the man upstairs is ready for me to end it that way.
Gathers collapsed during the West Coast Conference semifinal game against Portland. The tournament was then canceled, and the Lions were awarded the NCAA bid. Late today, his teammates voted to play in the NCAA tourney. His teammates and even members of the NBA still in a state of shock.
Yeah, we can't understand why God would take a life, a healthy body, or really nice guys.
We just don't understand how a man that strong could leave us so quickly.
He was our guy. As a player and as a person.
I know he's listening. I just love him so much. And I'm gonna miss you, Hank.
To show you the kind of man that Hank Gathers was, last year he led the nation in scoring and rebounding, only the 2nd player in college history to accomplish that amazing feat. This year, Coach Paul Westhead asked that Kimball be given more of the offensive load, so Hank did just that, and Bo has been leading the country in scoring. Most college kids wouldn't even do that or accept anything like that at all.